Evolution. What is evolution? Who can tell me? Name me any word when you hear that word that leads to a definition. I heard it. What? Adaptations?
Development over time.
Over time. I'll put that. Over time. Whoops. Okay, maybe I won't. Over time is there. Sorry, I exposed the whole thing. Any kind of change which, leads to an adaptation, you could say, in a population. Population is important here to understand. Over time. And it involves genetic makeup. Oh. And reproduction is a critical component. I mentioned in the start of class, there's a lot of hypotheses about the history of Earth, or life on Earth, or development of life on Earth. And basically, when you look at micro and macroevolution, one is relatively more theory-based, and the other one is more hypothesis. What are they, and which one do you think lies in which category? What is micro and macro?
Macro is more like theory-based, and then micro is more hypothesis.
It's actually backwards. What does micro mean?
Small.
Small. Let's start with that. Small scale evolution. What does macro mean?
Big.
Large scale. Look at this picture I have on the side. And the words aren't covered, so you obviously know which is micro and which is macro. Now tell me why. So in the bottom picture, or the microevolution, you're seeing a change, small scale change. You're seeing change of physical features within one type of species. You're seeing a tail change, size change, color change. What are you seeing in macro? You're seeing a change from what?
From a reptile to a bird.
From one species to another. That's what macroevolution is. So now you can see the difference between hypothesizing that one organism derived from another versus actually visually seeing and proving that there could be change within a species over time of characteristics based on an adaptation or a need to survive a specific condition. So in this class, we're basically going to focus, we're going to talk about macro, but we're going to focus on micro, and we're going to look at all these different types of changes that a population can go through over time from one generation to the next. Remember, one generation to the next, critical component, because reproduction must take place in order for evolution to happen. Yeah, so we get our ideas about macroevolution from fossils. We get it from a lot of things, but fossil evidence, that is a key component to where they get these ideas. Why? If you look at the geological time scale of life, okay, there's fossils that can be dated back to specific years, but you never find, let's say, you first find, what fossils were first found? Anybody know? Before plants. Before fish. Before that.
Oh, mosquito.
The smallest of organisms.
Bacteria.
Bacteria. To fungi. So, you know, what I'm saying, we're going up. If you look at the scale, you never see a specific species. You see them form later. So in their mind, they think, okay, this one led to this one, led to this one. That's where they get the idea from. In the end, where do we find these fossils? Raise your hand and tell me ideas of where I find fossils.
In deserts, that might have lived in.
Muddy areas. I'll take that. Like tar. Where else?
Dried.
Where?
Dried tree sap.
Yep. Yep. Oh, amber. Where else? Yeah. There's a picture.
Sedimentary rocks.
Rocks. That's it. Sedimentary rock. That's the main thing. Now you mentioned you can have, remains of organisms in like a leaf imprint. So yeah, imprints is part of it. And ice. Whoops. Sorry, didn't hear you. So you can find footprints, bones, leaf impressions, and body parts. All are considered. Once we find them, we have to date them, right? So one of the best ways to date a fossil is the position of the sedimentary rock. What do you think is going to determine?
The deeper it is, the older.
Exactly. The deeper the fossil, the older the fossil. This is a real complex topic. It's also a very it's questioned by a lot of people, although there's another significant amount of people that think it's the best method. In this unit, you do not have to understand carbon dating because you don't have enough chemistry background. It's not required in bio to understand the formula, but as you progress to the higher levels of science, like in AP, you have to be able to calculate the half-life of organisms. And in chemistry, you're going to have to understand the chemistry behind it. All I want you to know for now is that carbon dating measures the amount of radioactive carbon in organisms, okay? All living things are made up of CHOMP-PS, we know this. And carbon-14, which is a radioactive form of carbon, decays at a specific rate. So when they measure that, they can determine the age of the organism, in a sense. And I have a video to show you. So the last method of dating fossils is called index fossils. And basically, when you find a fossil in a certain level, or you find it, you use carbon dating to date it. Any fossil found at that same level is going to be what? Same age, okay? So any fossil found within a certain depth is considered about the same age in a given area. Because they know over time that area has changed or altered. And there's a picture of what I was telling you, geological time scale of fossils. And you'll see, you know, you're not responsible for knowing errors or periods or any of that. You know, you might have to interpret a chart in terms of aging fossils, but that's it.